Today's daf is Masechtas Nazir Daf Chavtes. So we are on Chavches Beis, on the third to bottom line, the beginning of the Gemara. So let's just recap the Mishnah, at least on when the Gemara is going now. The Mishnah said halacha that a father could be mader his son, a katan, to be a Nazir. So either you could say Gehei B'ni Nazir, or he could tell his son Be Mekam Naziris. However, the Mishnah said that an Isha cannot make her son a Nazir. She doesn't have a koyach to do that. Her son that's a katan. So Zak the Gemara Ish in that a father could be mother his son in Naziris. Avla Isha loy. A mother cannot. What's the reason that a father could and a mother can't? So Dr. Gemara, it's machlekes. Rabbi Yechon Amar halacha. It's a halacha mashmasinai halacha he ben Nazir, that only a father has a koyach to mother his son Naziris and not a mother. Rabbi Yosef Chanina says Amar. Rabbi Yosef Chanina Amar. Rish Lakish says in the name of Rish Lakish. Yosef Chanina says in the name of Rish Lakish that the reason why a father could be mother his son is as takanas chachamim kedei lechanchem mitzvahs, so that he could. It's a din chinuch that the father could be mother his son at the katan. Frakti Gemara ihachi Gemara asks Rish Lakish, if it's takat takanas chachamim afilu yishanami, then why should a mother not have a mitzvah of chinuch on her son? That's a katan. So Mark Savar Shlakish holds Ish Chayav L'Chanach, a father has a chiv L'Chanach B'noi B'mitzvahs. Ve'eina Isha Chayav L'Chanach B'noi. However, a mother is not mechuyev to mechanach her daughter in mitzvahs, and therefore the Chacham were not masakin that she could mother her son in Naziris. Frakti Gemara from the Lashon Ha'av Mother as B'noi. Is mashma that a father could mother his son in his ears. So, frankly, more Bishlam Rabbi Yechon halacha. Bishlam Yechon says Talach L'Mash Messiah, the father could do a ben Nazir. Amtula Hachi. So we understand that Benoi in that a father could be mother his son in his ears, B'toy loy, but his daughter not, because Allah L'Mash Messiah was said that a father could mother his son but not a daughter. El Rish Lakish Frakti Gemara that's Takanas Chamal Tchinuch Safilu B'toy L'Chayro. Even for a daughter, she needs mitzvah chinuch. So the Gemara Kasavar Shlakish holds, but no yichayev l'chancha b'tein yichayev l'chancha. That a son, a father has a chiyuv chinuch, a daughter, a father does not have a chiyuv chinuch, because even when she gets big, a girl is not chayev in all mitzvahs, because she's pater on mitzvahs she's bangarama. So he says she's not chayev in all mitzvahs, even when she's a katana. There is no mitzvah of chinuch, and therefore he can't be mother his daughter in his ears. It's a frakti Gemara. Bishlam Rabbi Yechon, the Gemara is invited in the shtal, that's part of the Mishnah. Bishlam Rabbi Yechonan, that says halacha ben Nazir, it's halacha Moshe Sinai dafka ben Naziris, that the father could be mother his son. So ahachi ben Naziris in ben Nedarim loy. So therefore ben Naziris a father can mother his son, but not by Nedarim, because halacha Moshe Sinai was set specifically on Naziris. El Rish Lakish afilu Nedarim nami. According to Rish Lakish, even Nedarim the chayrish will be mother in order to mechanech his son. So and for the Gemara that Taka according to Rish Lakish, Taka could be mother his son in Nedarim. And the Mishnah Chapsa Naziris, why? Because by Naziris there's more of a chiddush, more than by Sharon Darim. There's more of a chiddush by Naziris that the father could do it than by other Nadarim. And Loimi Boye Kamar. Tana, the Mishnah that said that the father could be mother a son, mother and a son Naziris, was coming to say that Loimi Boye Nadarim Leslie Nivell, he doesn't have to say that he can mother his son on a Darim because there's no nivell, there's nothing not nice about a neder or not pleasant or whatever. Elafil ben Naziris, there is like nivell, even ben Naziris where there is something nivell ben, there's something that's not like degrading about it. Afilu hachi chayv lachancha, still the father has a chiv to mechanech a son, and therefore he could be mother himself. So Zak Gemara, you're right. According to Rish Lakish, that it's not atzlach l'mashina, rather it's atzchinuch. It's tagadim in the darn that the father could be mother his son also. So frak Gemara. Now the Gemara is going to stell on the next part of the Mishnah. Bishlam Rabbi Yochanan Malachim Nazir Bishlam according to Yochanan says halacha much missing that the father could do it Hainu Dutani. That's why the Mishnah says the halacha that micha, if the son is moicha on the father's nazir, so that the father tries to do it in moishim b'chol koyev, or the son's relatives are moicha, so therefore it's halacha Shem Sinai that he can be meicha, or the relatives can be meicha. So the Gemara is understanding that the reason why that according to Rabbi Yochanan it says halacha ben Nazir, then the macha is also part of the halacha Mishnah. Rabbi Yosef Chanina Amar Shlakish, that says in the name of Shlakish that's Takanas Chacham to Mechanech Hastan. So how come, for the Gemara wants to know why could the Krayim be Meicha? Kol Kaminei and Krayim Da'amin like taking away mitzvahs. If the father has a chiv chinuch on a son, could the Krayim come and say, we don't want the father to Mechanech Hastan? Doesn't pass l'chor such as that. Can't tell the father don't teach him mitzvahs. And for the Gemara, Kasavar Kol Chinuch L'Chashiv. The Rish Lakish holds that any chinuch that is a bezayin, like Naziris, where he has to cut off all his hair, lo nichale, the son does not want it, and therefore the Chum Masakin that either the son or the Kroyim could be Michael, because it's a type of chinuch that could be a bezayin, so therefore the Chacham made that they have the option to be meicha. Fracting Gemara weiter on this whole machlokes Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish. As the Gemara Bishlam Rabbi Yochanan da Amar Bishlam, it's very good because Rabbi Yochanan it says that the naziris of the son, the father is making on him is halacha. He ben nazir is halacha mashur Sinai. So therefore mishum hachi megaleach va'afed akafa. So therefore the son can be megaleach, and he could shave his whole head, even in a place where normally it's usher to cut his deraisa, like a regular din nazir. He has a regular nazir because he's a nazir government at Torah al tzalach meshum Sinai. So therefore he could even hakafas areish, the area on the head was isder deraisa to cut. He's allowed to cut because it's a chiyuv al nazir. So it's like asidei chalois. But for the Gemara, Rabbi Yosef Chanina Amar Shlakish that says that whole Nazir Saben is only Takanas Chacham, L'cheres Rabbanon Kedei L'chancham Mitzvahs. So how could he do Giluach? Hakav Hakafa L'cheres Isra Hakafa. There's no chiyuv in Torah that L'cheres should be doichel this Isra D'Oraisa. It's only in Takanas Chachamim. And for the Gemara, Kasavar Shlakish holds Hakafas Kol Haroish Midrabanon. Shlakish holds the Isra Hakafas Haroish is not D'Oraisa; it holds the Rabbanon. And the whole Isser min ha-Torah v'akafas harosh is only when he takes off the payas and he leaves off over the rest of the hairs of the head. That's the only time you have an Isser hakafas harosh, only when it takes off dafka the payas and leaves the rest of the hair. But if he takes off the entire head, then then it's only Isser Rabbanon. And the naziris of the father that's doing chinuch is also the Rabbanon. So it is the asi chinuch the Rabbanon, v'dachei hakaf the Rabbanon. So it's not shver, like tomorrow, very gishmak. Later shlokish, it's only the Rabbanon because it's shaving the entire head. So the mela, the chinuch the Rabbanon comes and it's the hakaf the Rabbanon, and memela, that's how it makes sense that the ben could do giluach. Fracting Gemara weiter. Bishlam Rabbi Yochanan, the Gemara is weiter going to show on Rabbi Yochanan Shlakish. Bishlam Rabbi Yochanan, the Amar Halacha, very geschmacks of Gemara like Rabbi Yochanan, it says Halacha Moshe B'Sinai by Nazir Sa'ahachi Megaleach U'Maisi Carbon. So therefore the Ben is Megaleach and he brings a carbon, and it's not Chulun Ba'Zara. Why? Because the Nazir government at Torah and it's Chayvin Karbonas. Rabbi Yosef Chanina Amar Shlakish, according to this, when it said in the name of Shlakish that it's only a Takanas Chacham that the father has to be mechanech son of mitzvahs. So fracting Gemara, how could he bring carbon chatos? Hakamaisi chulun lazara l'cher min Torah. He's not nazir b'chlal. So kumtois, the carbon is chulin. So how could he bring it and shechted nazara? It's chulun ba'azara. the Gemara, Kasavar Shlokash holds Chulun Ba'Zara Lav D'Oraisa. The Isser of Shchitas Chulun Ba'Zara is not D'Oraisa, it's only D'Rabbanan. And since this Nazir is D'Rabbanan, and he's chayav to bring the carbon, since the D'Rabbanan is chayav to bring the carbon, merely he could bring it. Because D'Rabbanan, it's D'Rabbanan being Deicha D'Rabbanan. So, fracting Gemara, Nachakasha, Bishlam, Rabbi Yechon Dam Halacha, says Halacha Moshe B'Sinai by Nazir, Zahachi Kimitame Sadir 4. If the Ben gets his Aziris that the father made on him, and he's Mitame in the middle of the Aziris, so my see carbon Siparan, he has to bring a birds, he has to bring a Chatas Oif and Oilis Oif, and the Kohen eats the chatas that they did malika on, because on birds you do malika, you don't do shchita like all nazir shenitma. So affecting Gemara, Rabbi Yosef B'Chanina, so Bishlam, according to Rabbi Yochanan, it's very geschmack that you have malika, because the regular is their rice. That's halacha Moshe Sinai. Rabbi Yosef B'Chanina Shlakish that says that the whole nazir is only derabanan. So l'chayim min atayr the karbanos achulon and oibazoi, the kohen is going to be eating in the vela. Why? Because malika and chulun technically is not matter oif b'achila. Only shchita is matter. It's empty Gemara. Kasavar Shlakish holds like a Yischanin that says that ain't shchita oif min Torah. There is no din b'chlal shchita min Torah on a oif to matter in achila. It's just that you have to take out its dam through derech the samanim in the neck, and it's only chacham that will matzrich shchita for a bird. And for that, this nazir derabanan is mutter. It's enough to make it mutter with just malika itself, because the Shlakish is going like that shita Rabbi Yosef Yehuda that there's no chiv shchita da'iraisa for an oif. Says the Gemara v'chulun ba'azar lav da'iraisa, and also Rish Lakish holds that Isser shchitas chulun ba'azar is not da'iraisa derabanan. And therefore, we could check this karbanos and azar, even though in Torah they are chulin. The Gemara says, the Gemara, because the Gemara is saying it has to come out to both. That shchita, you don't need to have shchita in Torah, and the chulin din of chulin azar is not dairais. So, frak the Gemara of a savar Rabbi Yosi hachi. Does Rabbi Yosi hold like this? Does Rabbi Yosi Yehuda hold that shchita is not needed for oif min Torah? But Tani Rabbi Yosi Yehuda oimer minayin lechat soif shibal asafik. How do you know that a person is mesufik if his chayav chatz oif brings it mi safik? Says the Gemara, the Brisa says, Rabbi Yossi Yehuda Omer, Rabbi Yossi Yehuda says in the Brisa brings down, that minayim lechatz oif shibal safik. How do you know that if somebody is mesufik if he's chayav chatz oif, that he brings it anyway mesufik? And that's unlike a chatas behema, because by a chatas behema, if the only time you bring a chatas behema is if you're sure that you chayav a chatas behema. But if a person is mesupik if he's chayav a chatas behema, the halacha is that he brings a asham toli and he does not bring a chatas. But however, legabe chatas oif haba b'safik, the Gemara is saying, how do you know that you bring it mesafik anyway? And she'in and achelas. And it does not get eaten, this chatas, for a kohen when it's ba'al safek. If it's not ba'al safek, it does get eaten kohen. Zok Gemara Talmud Loimar, the pasuk says Vayikra Perak Tes Vav pasuk Lamed Beis and pasuk Lamed Gimel. First it says Zayis Toiras, and then it says V'hadova b'nidasa v'hazava soivoi. It says La Zachor v'lanakevo le'isha sheyishkavim tameya. So it says Zachor and Nekeva next to each other. So Makish, Nekeva, Zachor. Makish, we compare a Nekeva to a Zachor. When we say Ma Zachor, maybe carbon. Ma, just like a Zachor, that he brings a carbon b'shoigig on his Zava, maybe carbon brings a carbon Chatas on a Vadai. Af Nekeva, so to a Nekeva, which is a Zava, Yoledes, Revia carbon, she brings a Chatz Oif on a Vadai. Uma Zachor, that brings on a suffix Zava, maybe brings a Ashan Tali al suffix, And just like a zava, a zachar brings a carbon on a suffix zava, which is he brings a chatz behim on that. So maybe he brings a ashatali in that case, ala suffix. Af nekeva, which is a suffix zava, suffix aleda, she brings a chatz sa'if ala suffix. And Zakta Braisa, Uma Zachar that brings a carbon al suffix, he brings min shu mevi alavada. He brings from the type that he would bring on a vadai, which is a chatas, which is a min behema. So from that itself, he brings mevi al suffix. He brings from that carbon chatas also on a suffix. So he's going to bring also a behema. He won't bring a chatas on a suffix, but he'll bring an asham talai. But he's about to bring from a min behema. Afne keva, as Avi Yelez will say, min she mevi alavada, from the min that she brings on avada, which is by her a chatas oif mevi al suffix. So she'll also bring a chatas oif on a suffix. So Zakta Braisa, the Braisa says. So Zakta Braisa, if you want to compare the nekeva's halachas to the zachar, so will you say that ma zachar maybe carbon, just like the zachar brings a carbon Asham Tali on a suffix and the nechon, it gets eaten as carbon. So Afna Kevi, you say that she brings a carbon chat sa'if al suffix and her carbon will also be eaten as well. Zok the Braisa Amrat loyal. We're saying no, you can't be makesh a nekeva to a zachar legabe this also that it's nechal. Why? Because the difference between the carbon of a zachar to the carbon of a nekeva. Legabe the amount of isurim that you're over in the chilas habehema if they would not bring it for carbon. Why? Because in a marta bezachar, if you'll say by a zachar that brings a asham tali misafik, what is a suffix? So then he's allowed to eat it. Why? Shekain iser echad, because somebody eats this behema is over only on one iser. Why? Because maybe the makar wasn't over avera, and now he's eating chulul azara. That would be the only iser. But I'll tell you by nekeva, if you bring a chatzos misafik, sheshnei isurim, that if somebody that's eating it, there might be two isurims. Zok the Gemara, what are these two isurim? Lav isin avela v'chum ma'azara. We're talking about this isin avela and chim ma'azara. Why? Because the chatzos gets malika, and if she's putter for a carbon, comes out that it's an avela, and also it would be chum ma'azara. And you're not, and it also will be chul, and you're not allowed to eat in the zara. So l'char, you see from this that the Bryce is saying that there is shchita la'if min ha'Torah. Why? Because we're saying there's two isurim, and there's iser chul and the zara midiraisa. You see clear. We're saying over here that there's two isur diraisa. So l'char, it's shver when we answered before l'shitas Rish Lakish that the ben could bring two karbonos when it becomes tame, even though his naziris derabanan, because we said that the two isurim are only derabanan. But l'chor, you see over here in the Brisa is saying that the iser, the two isurim you have by nekeva that you bring chatzayif mesafik, it's mavur in this Brisa that it's isur deraisa, not isur derabanan. So now frek the Gemara very quickly, maskal rachav deravika. That how do you know mechates? Mechates the kavanah of the rice when it says shnei isurim means isurei Torah. The dilma a trei isurim darabanan. Maybe taka means like we said the pshat or Rish Lakish that it's chatzei habal safik over misafik on two isurim darabanan, and therefore cham aser to eat it. Masha inkin min Torah, it's mutter to eat like asham tali. Hafshataka means darabanan. So it would seem that the Gemara is really like you're really being matcha this kasha now. Maybe it's takadaraman and you have no right. Okay. So now the Gemara goes back to what I was speaking about. The machlekes of Yerich Mishlakish is it halacha mishmesina is kind of chachamim. So talking Gemara lema katanai. Maybe let's say that this is a machlekes tanal, because the Brisa says and Mosai Madir is benay ben Nazir. Until what age could a father be mad his son in Naziris? So the Brisa says, Ad sheyavi shtei cyrus, until the son brings 2 cyrus, till he becomes a gadol. Divrei Rebbe, that is the sheet of Rebbe Yosef Yehuda. Rebbe Yosef Yehuda argues and he says, the father can mother his son ben Naziris ad shegiya lo inis darm, until the son reaches the time that the son can make a neder for himself, and the neder is chal, which is 12 years and 1 day. So frakting Gemara, my laf tanahi l'chayra. Rebbe and Rebbe Yosef Yehuda are arguing in the Machloikis Rebbe Yochanan and Shlakish. The Rebbe Savar Halacha Ibn Nazir. Rebbe holds Halacha Ibn Nazir that a father can mother his son is Halacha Moshe Sinai, and therefore Ba'afagav Digia Loinus Dharma, and even though he reaches Loinus Dharma, which is 12 years in a day, Madir Levazel, the father could still be mother his son Adamais Shtei Cyrus until he brings Shtei Cyrus and he becomes a legitimate gadol. However, it's like the Gemara, Rabbi Yosef Yehuda the Amar, that he can only do it on the father, only mother his son is ears, actually Gila in his darm, Savar, maybe he holds that it's only Takanas Chacham and Kedil Chanchim and Mitzvah. So it came in the Nafik Rashus, and since the son goes out of the father's Rashus, Lagabi Oinas and Darm, that he can make his own Darm at 12 years in a day, so therefore, Sulam Echayev, the father has no Chiyuv and Chinuch anymore, and that's why he can't be Mother and Naziris once he hits 12 years in a day. So maybe that's Pshat Machloikis. Rabbi Yosef Yehuda is the Machloikis. The Gemara wants to say maybe it's the Machloikis Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish. Says Akti Gemara, no, you have no hechut to say like that. Amri the Bnei Yeshiva am Gezakt Loi. It's not what the Machloikis is. Rather, what's the Machloikis? The Kuliyam Masai Rabbi and Rabbi Yosef Yehuda hold like Rabbi Yochanan that it's halachi but Nazir. Maybe everyone agrees. Sai Rabbi Yehuda and Sai Rabbi agree that it's halacha meshum Sinai. V'hacha. So what's the machlokes? V'hacha b'mufla samach leish k'miflagi. They're arguing the din of mufla samach leish. So meaning the time that a katan is from 12 to 13, that's what the shaila is. Are his nedarim kayim in a Torah or derabanan? So Rebbe said on mufla samach leish at that Tekufa, which is a 12-year-old boy before he turns a real gadol at 13, he holds a darm. That is, the darm are kayim derabanan, the only derabanan. Va'asa, dairaisa, and dachi derabanan. And Rebbe holds that. Rebbe holds that the din that halacha meshum Sinai, the father can mother son of Naziris, is doicha derabanan. The din derabanan muflach samach leish, that tells you a kid can make a son can make a neder at 12 years old. And therefore the father can mother him Naziris. But Rabbi Yosef Yehuda holds muflach samach leish is doiraisa, and therefore once the son reaches that age of muflach samach leish, which is 12 years in a day, so he's his own Rishus D'Oraisa, and Mela the father does not have a koyach to mother him Naziris. So maybe that's pshat. Everyone agrees, Dr. Gemara, that like Rabbi Yochanan, that it's al talach meshum Sinai. Dr. Gemara Rabbi Boyisem, and I could tell you another pshat in Machlokes Tana Rabbi Yosef Yehuda and Rabbi. To Kuliyam, I could tell you everybody Rabbi Yehuda hold that maybe it's only Takanas Chacham, like Rish Lakish, Kedei Lechanchav and Mitzvahs. And Mufla Samach Leish Derabanan. And they both hold Mufla Samach Leish, the stage of 12 years old where a boy can make a neder, maybe it's only Derabanan. And the Machlokes says something else, that Rebbe Savar Asi Chinuch Derabanan V'dachim Mufla Samach Leish. Rebbe holds that the din of Chinuch is doicha the din of Mufla Samach Leish, and therefore the father can madir his son, even though when he's at a stage of Mufla Samach Leish, which is 12 years old. Rabbi Yosef Yehuda the Amar, Rabbi Yosef Yehuda that says that the father can mother his son at Shegila in his Darim. Rabbi Yosef Yehuda says that the father could only do it until the stage of his Darim, which is until 12, because he holds that it can't be Daicha. Why? Because since the son finds himself in his own Rishus, so mainly he can make a neder, and the father cannot be Mechanachim anymore and be mother him in Naziris.